Yellowjacket men remain at home this week to host Alaska Anchorage and the University of Alaska. Kamal, the team split its 2 games last week. Talk about some things that you took away from those games, a loss to Central and then a win against Northwest Nazarene.
First of all, it seems hard for our team to win at home, which is kind of odd in some way, because we seem to be really good on the road, and especially the game against Central, we didn't seem to do the stuff that got us those wins. For example, just playing hard, rebounding, running the floor, and most importantly, just having fun as a team, sharing the ball. And I think that was it was like one of those games to see where our program was at and see if we were ready to take that next step, because we were number one in the GNAC at the moment, and if we won that game, we would have stayed number one. But luckily enough, the next game against NNU, we got that win because it was one of those weird games where none of the teams could get in the flow. Last year, we wouldn't have won a game like that, so it seems like our team is growing, and we're definitely a better team than last year. But obviously, we still have a long ways to go if we want to get our goals and achieve them. So.
Talk a bit about your personal growth over the last 2 years. It's just your second year in the program, but you've meant so much leadership-wise, especially this year. You're one of 3 players to have started every single game, and the team really relies on you under the basket. Talk about your leadership, your growth a little bit.
I think I've just tried to get better every day. That's one of our main goals as a program, as a team. So I take pride in getting better, and it's one of the things that just makes me feel better as a person and as a player, and I try to get better in all aspects. So I just try to work hard every day and give it my all I got.
And then this week coming in, you have Alaska Anchorage first on Thursday, and then Alaska. Talk about this game coming up on Thursday. That's what the team's focused on right now, a really talented team coming in.
I think this is one of those contests that's also measuring where we're at. So we're playing one of the big 4 of the GNAC, and one of our goals is to have a positive record against the big 4. We won against Western. We lost against Central. Now we got our third of the big 4 coming in, and we smacked them last year at home, so we try to do the same thing this year. It won't be easy, but we know we can. If everyone is dialed in and ready to go, and everyone just gives it all he has. So I think that's our main focus right now, just try to do everything we can to win that game, and it won't be easy, but we all know we can.
You know, it's probably the same thing that we were last week, just trying to build off, get better from the weekend, and try to build, get better from the loss, which learn from what we need to do. And the Central Washington game was a tie game at the under 8, and then basically the last 8 minutes they just made a few more plays than we did. The NNU game was similar situation, close game, and both teams, neither team could shoot it really well. There was just a ton of fouls called, so there was not a lot of rhythm in the game. And, I think our guys, especially, Mark and Preston late, were just huge, made some big plays to get us that lead, and then we just kind of held on for dear life. So at this point, it's GNAC. Everybody can beat everybody. You got to show up, and you want to just build from your previous week, get better from it. And we know we have to be prepared against 2 really good teams and 2 really, really good, well-coached teams. These are 2 of the better coached teams in the league.
Talk about Preston Beverly a little bit. You mentioned he was able to come in late. He scored 18 points in the game. 11 of those came in the final 3 minutes, where he just got in the zone, really carried the team. Talk about his ability to impact a game like that.
Preston was awesome late. Obviously, he hit some huge shots. He didn't really struggle, or he just was in foul trouble and couldn't get a rhythm. But when you have your best players to play that well, the last 3 or 4 minutes was what we needed and what you expect. And if really good teams, their best guys show up late, and Preston did that, and as did Mark. Those guys neither played their best games of the year. I thought they both struggled in certain ways, but they carried us late. And then then you look at the stats, and Mark had 22 on like a very efficient shooting night actually, and a lot of his misses in the first half were in and out and just shots that were good looks. and then Preston with 18 and 13. So if our best two, if our best two guys, don't play at their best, and one gets a double-double and the other gets 22, I guess I can live with that as a coach. So that's great to see that those guys are doing those kind of things, even when they're not playing at their best.
Now the focus shifts to Alaska Anchorage. It's a team you're tied with right now in the GNAC, 4-2. They'll take on Alaska on Tuesday night, so you'll get a little bit for perspective on them. But what are your thoughts coming in? We know they're a very talented team. They have some individuals who expect to be on the top of the all-conference list at the end of the year. But what's your approach facing them?
Well, they're talented, they're experienced, they're well coached. It's going to be we know they play tonight, and then they got to get on a plane and fly here. But we're going to play really well. They're good. They're good at every position. They play extremely hard. If you look at their scores, their recent scores, they're really guarding the ball well. Low scoring games. Obviously we'd like to get the game going up and down a little bit more. We're just gonna have to play well. We're gonna have to play well because we know they're gonna be ready for us.